Hey, coyotes. Yip, yip. Yip, yip. Oh, flip. I like that. That was, oh no. I should have that in front of me just a second. Okay, I found it. It's Richard Lenz. He says yip, yip in the comments here. So I'm going to use that if that's okay, Richard. I asked you, but it's kind of hard to get back to me. I know that. So yeah, so tonight I'm trying to do things in line with Steve's channel. So I'm hoping you guys, right after you watch his, he does Thursdays. I asked him, hey, I might release Thursday as well, okay? He said, sounds good to me. So after you watch him hunker down in the ditch there, you can maybe slip over and have a look at my stuff. What do I so tonight is a double header. I want to put out Master Unkind the Sea. I for a while there, back when I was 18, 19, our family, there's a singer named Stan Rogers. He's a Canadian folk singer, passed away in the 80s, I believe. Great songwriter, really, really beautiful voice too. And you can check him out. That was an influence. Also, my mom and dad listened to the Clancy brothers a lot, so we had a lot of different kind of folk styles going on. If you've seen any of my videos, you could tell I have quite a few different influences when it comes to music. I like all kinds of music, from blues to bluegrass and rock to classical even, and so on. I've written just about, I think, almost every genre. I'm not saying I wrote them well, but I've tried lots of different genres. So where was I? So tonight, Master Unkind, The Sea. I remember when I first played it for my dad at the kitchen table there years ago. I finished it and I looked over and my dad was crying, which was that wasn't common in he's a British descent in a way, like it was stiff upper lip kind of a thing. And we had that growing up. We just, you didn't show your emotions very much. And there's been a lot of emotion in my life lately with this influx of new new coyotes and stuff in my life. It's pretty neat. Like it's overwhelming. Like over 3,000 new people in my life, and they're very kind and loving. I mean, I don't like to use that word too freely. I'm not saying it's not a good word. It's just people throw it out there a bit, almost like hate and love. They're powerful words, and they should be used intentionally. And I do think, yeah, all you coyotes are just, yeah, it's a loving group. We have a nice little thing going on here. Anyways, so my dad was crying, and he made a comment. He goes, I don't know how an Alberta boy, a prairie boy, can write such a sad song about the sea. And he kind of right. I mean, I've never, at the time, I hadn't been to the ocean. I've only gone there a few times, but I think one of the abilities of a songwriter or a creative person is you have that ability. Maybe it's empathy. You can place yourself in people's shoes a little bit. You can't fully understand, but you can, and I think that gives you that reach where you can kind of understand. And not to divulge too much, but that's kind of what happened with this song when I inadvertently sang that song a few videos back, just sort of explaining what was coming up, and I mentioned the Master Unkind the Sea. And then spontaneously I decided, okay, well, I'll just sing it. And I hadn't sung it in years, frankly. I got a very pleasant, heartfelt email from one of the coyotes and saying that song really, really spoke to him. And there's a bit of at the end of the song, you'll see what I mean in a way. So without going too much more into it, I'll let you just watch and see that. And right after that, because I don't know if I mentioned I wanted to do a double header tonight, I wrote another wolf story a while back, and I've kind of patched it together, and that's following right after. So when you're done, you can, because you're probably hunkering down just like everyone in this stupid pandemic here, bring the kids around and hopefully listen to my version called Wolf and the Raven. So the Raven is Ralph, Wolf and his brother Maurice, and so on. And it's a little bit of a play on, if you know the original, there's a story, I think it's a Fox and the Raven, and I don't know if it was an Aesop fable, but at any rate, the Raven has cheese in his beak, and the fox convinces him to drop it by saying, "Hey, can you sing for me?" And so the Raven is flattered, and he sings. Of course, he drops the cheese, and the fox makes off with the cheese. And it's something about vanity. Vanity leads to the fall, or there's a moral in that one. This one's not quite the same, but I play on that. And in my story, it's Finn is the fox. He's just a small character in it, and the Raven is Ralph. But I mention in my story, I talk about Finn and the Raven, and that's what I'm referring to, is that original story, and this is, of course, my spin on it. So I hope you enjoy that too. The other thing, before I set you off here on your way, comments have been amazing. I am overwhelmed by the amount of support. I gotta get a hold of myself a little bit here. There was also someone, I'm sorry, I should have this ready, mentioned about the length of video should be fairly long if you want to get to your hours, and I'm very scared to do that because I don't want to, but I'm going to try tonight, and you can comment and tell me if it's working or if you like it. I'm going to bleed into another. So this little intro, and when this is done and I got it's around 8 minutes or so, it looks like I'm getting up to there, 9 minutes. You can just scroll ahead and start the song. You don't have to listen to this. And then after that, I'm going to put the Wolf and the Raven right after that. So the culmination of all that's going to be fairly hearty. So it might be around the 15-20 minutes, So I welcome you to listen to all of that, or just pick out what you want. That's fine by me. This is a neat journey that I'm going on with all you coyotes. It's really good, and I can't stress enough how heartfelt, or rather how your heartfelt comments and support, what it means to me. It's really something else. I don't want to get too mushy here, but it's really nice. So God bless you guys. Enjoy. Stay safe. I'll keep you updated as much as I can, and I hope you enjoy the song, and I hope you enjoy the story, and we'll talk later, coyotes. Yip yip.
Sit ye around, and I'll tell to you the way my heart came to be, entrapped and held forever bound to this master unkind, the sea. When I was but a tiny lad, great burdens placed on me, to watch my mom and o'er the farm. Well, Daddy went to sea. hard. And then one day the sun darkened in the sky, and Mother said that Father's gone. At night I hear her cry. So at this age, I took his place. His friends had settled my mind. Your father worked hard for you, son. To no one was unkind. My mother, she writes and hides in words that everything's fine as can be, but the tear stains tell me how she hates the life on the sea. But I'll be home in a year or so. There's no place that I'd rather be, and I'll leave you, my friends, and my sad mind to this master unkind, the sea.
I have yet to meet someone that I can't eat. I've yet to run across someone that I can't beat. I'm the king of the hill, I'm the top of the heap. I'm a wolf now, I'm wolf now, baby. You think I've never heard your song before? How about the girl in red, all those piggies next door? Well, you're always gonna try to find something more. Wait till you
Wolf and the Raven by Joe Lawrence. "Maurice is going to love this," said Wolf, and he began to howl. "Oh, ooh, I better be quiet, or Maurice will hear me." Wolf got up extra early that morning because it was Maurice's birthday, and he was going to make him a special birthday omelet. He set everything out, the eggs, the cheese, the frying pan, and started then to make the fire in the stove. "Hello, Wolf," said Ralph the Raven, who had perched onto the open kitchen windowsill. "Oh, hello, Ralph," said Wolf, looking up from the stove, eyebrow raised in suspicion. He was having trouble getting it started. Maurice always lit the stove. "I just wanted to say," started Ralph, "I do this for ravens everywhere," he yelled, with one wing extended in a grand flourish, almost a bow, then reached in and stole Wolf's cheese. Why you?" Wolf said, and lunged at Ralph, but he had taken off out the window already. Wolf had one black feather in his mouth and watched Ralph fly away. "That brat," pff, he said, spitting out the feather, and ran out of the cave. Maurice came into the kitchen a few minutes later and beheld the mess. Wolf had obviously been up to something. There were cups and saucers everywhere. Most of the cupboards were open, and the fire in the stove was, well, smouldering. The eggs in the frying pan were out too, and there was a black feather on the table. "Is that a raven's feather?" Maurice picked it up and examined it. Oh, yes, obviously. It's profoundly black, unlike the crow's more brownish tinge, and has a higher gloss containing hues of green, purple, and blue when put into the sunlight. Unlike the crow's feather, which has less luster, and will tend to have hues of purple and blue. Just then he heard a long howl from the forest, deep in the forest. Uh-oh, thought Maurice. I know that howl. It's Wolf's angry and frustrated, and look out everyone howl. I better go and see what's happening. He kept the book he was about to read with him and set out. Into the deep dark woods I go, he said to himself, although it wasn't very dark. It was sunny. In fact, it looked rather inviting, but Maurice never really had adventures, so he decided to make the most of this one. "Come on, Ralph," yelled Wolf. "Give me back my cheese." "Why on earth would I do that, Wolf?" chuckled Ralph the Raven. "I want it, and I got it. It's mine, and you're just a stinking wolf, easily duped." "Oh, if I ever reach you up there," Wolf snarled. Then, with some difficulty, he stuttered, "Please?" That got a lot of laughter from Ralph. Then Wolf remembered Finn and the Raven from his bedtime stories. "Oh, pretty Ralph, you have such a pretty beak." Well, maybe he didn't remember it all. "Why don't you sing for us? There, that's closer. So we can see your lovely eyes and beak sparkle in the sun." Oh, boy. "Are you trying to trick me, Wolf?" laughed Ralph. "Do you think I don't know that story?" He hopped down the branch a little. "That was my uncle, Wolf. Finn tricked him. Now, if I had the cheese in my beak, you might have had a chance. But since you asked, I can sing. La 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 la, Wolf is a loser. La 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 la. How can we prove her that he's a... Okay, it doesn't rhyme very well, but I can sing all day long." Ralph broke his singing to start laughing. "There, what did you think of that?" Just then, Finn the Fox strutted up and leaned on the bottom of a neighboring tree. "Hello, Finn," sighed Wolf. "Hello, Wolf," replied Finn. "What's going on? I heard you howl." "I'm trying to get my cheese back from Ralph," and he turned his stare back up the tree. "Come on, Raven, drop the cheese. I'm trying to make an omelet for Maurice. It's his birthday today," pleaded Wolf. "Never," said Ralph the Raven. "No longer will ravens play the fool in the story. Finn fooled my uncle, but no one's fooling me." Just then, Maurice arrived. "Hello, Wolf. What's going on?" Well, nothing. I'm picking berries," stammered Wolf. Finn laughed. He's trying to get that cheese from Ralph," said Finn. "But it won't work," squawked Ralph. "I know all the tricks, Maurice, so forget it." "Fine by me," said Maurice. "Let's go home, Wolf." But just as he was about to turn away, Maurice looked up at Ralph and said to Wolf, "Where did you get that cheese from, Wolf?" "From the castle," replied Wolf. "From Rex, the rat." "In exchange for what?" asked Maurice. "For his life, of course," replied Wolf, a little hurt by the question. "I caught him and I told him to get me some." "Well, it looks like... No, it couldn't be. That's impossible. Never mind." "Looks like what?" asked Ralph. He loved to know the value of things, especially things he'd stolen. It made him feel good about himself. "Looks like what?" repeated Ralph. "Well," said Maurice, "I've heard that the king has had some extremely expensive cheese made, just recently." I don't believe you," said Ralph. "It's a trick." Ralph looked at Finn and Wolf to see their reaction, but they were just looking at Maurice because, well, it was Maurice. When it came to facts and extensive knowledge, nobody messed with Maurice. "Well, what does it look like?" continued Maurice. "Does it have green leaf-like lines through it?" Yes, I think so," said Ralph, looking down at it. "Okay, does it have little flecks like pepper throughout it?" Yes, it does." Ralph was getting excited. "Well, Ralph, if that's the cheese I think it is, it's worth more than you could ever imagine, enough for you and your family to live in comfort for the rest of your days." Are you kidding? Are you kidding, Maurice?" "No, Ralph, I'm not kidding. It doesn't matter to me. I'm allergic to cheese anyways." What? Yelled Wolf, which made Finn jump back a few feet. Since when? Wolf, sighed Maurice. Since I was a pup, remember? Mum never, ever fed it to me. Ever. No, obviously I don't remember because here I am, looking like an idiot, trying to get it back from Ralph. Wolf threw his paws up in despair. Anything else I should know about you? Any other mysteries you care to dump on me now, dearest brother? Are you my brother? Well, said Maurice, my name isn't actually Maurice. What? Bellowed Wolf. The trees shook. I'm teasing, Wolf. Don't do that, Maurice. You know how gulpable I am. It's gullible, Wolf, said Maurice. Oh, said Wolf. Well, why should I believe you? Are you two weirdos done? Yelled Ralph. He wanted desperately to know about this cheese. His cheese. Finn had a little twinkle in his eyes. He watched Maurice, and Maurice winked at him. Oh, yes, Ralph, I forgot about you. Where were we? Oh, yes, just answer me this last descriptive characteristic, okay? Are the corners of the cheese opaque or translucent? Yes, I think they are, but I don't know what those words mean, replied Ralph, a little embarrassed. Well, continued Maurice, it means not see-through or sort of see-through. Okay, forget that, Ralph. Here's the thing. I believe the cheese you have is dragon's head cheese. It's made from, you guessed it, dragon sinew and collagen. And since it's believed all dragons are gone, what is left is extremely rare and therefore extremely expensive. Here, I have a picture of it in my book. Does it look like this? I don't know. I can't see that far, said Ralph. Okay, well, never mind. Whatever you do, do not fly down here with it. It's very fragile, and it says here in the book that if it's damaged, it's not worth a fraction of the value. How does it look? Well, I think it looks great, said Ralph quickly. It better, said Wolf. It was a perfect little brick when Rex gave it to me. Wolf was looking at the ground now and mumbling. Is it mint? Asked Maurice. No, Maurice, it's cheese. What? Stuttered Ralph. Sorry, Ralph. Mint is short for mint condition. That means perfect condition. Oh, I think it is, said Ralph. It better be, mumbled Wolf again, 'cause I got it in mintable condition. Wolf had a small stick now and was lightly hitting the base of the tree. Well, you seem to have gotten it from our cave to here in mint condition, which is very impressive, I must say. I suppose you could fly it down here very carefully and show it to me, and we can compare it with the picture in my book. Ralph flew down carefully to Maurice and handed him the cheese. What do you think, Maurice? Is it dragon's head cheese? I don't know, said Maurice. Does this look the same to you? Ralph looked at the book Maurice had open and squinted. There's no picture. There's just a bunch of squiggles. That's medieval literature, Maurice smiled. And this? He threw the cheese over to Wolf, who dropped the stick and caught the cheese. This is blue cheese, he said to Ralph. Then he looked at his surprised brother. A little too pungent for an omelette, Wolf, but great in a salad. Momo! Yelled Wolf. Did you see that, Finn? That's my brother Maurice. Oh, yeah, he outfoxed the raven. No offense, Finn. I'm flattered, chuckled Finn. See you, Wolf. Maurice. And he darted off. Ralph looked at all the remaining company one at a time and flew off. Wolf and Maurice went home for breakfast, or perhaps a salad, a birthday salad. The end.
I've yet to run across someone that I can't beat. I'm the king of the hill, I'm the top of the heap. I'm Wolf now, I'm Wolf now, baby, I'm Wolf now. I'm Wolf now, baby, I'm Wolf now. I'm Wolf now, baby, I'm Wolf now. I'm Wolf now, baby, I'm Wolf.